Welcome on into the Auburn Express, powered by the War Report. I'm your host, Mike G, and thank you so much for turning us up and turning us on live from SEC Media Days from the College Football Hall of Fame. We are talking to Chris Marler. You got to do everything these days, my friend. I don't even know. I mean, you covered the Gamecocks, you covered the whole SEC, but you've been here all week, and you heard what Hugh Freeze had to say about a great many things. What do you think about the messaging this week, man, coming out of the Plains? Is this what you would want to hear as an unbiased third-party observer from your coach about your program?
So I just feel like the thing that is going to help Hugh Freeze out the most, like in his life right now, is the season starting. Because like all the talk being about golf, the stuff about like stuff that's not important, like recruiting rankings in like June and July, like this guy's got back-to-back top 10 classes in recruiting, like high school recruiting. Had a top 5 or so portal class. Like, this is the most talented roster that Auburn's had, I feel like, in probably a decade, right? And yeah, it might be the most talented roster he's had as a coach too. And I think the thing that he said that maybe the most excited about this team going into the season is the offensive line and how much faith he has in them, and again, just the roster in general. Like he's like, I think he's chomping at the bit and like ready to go.
Yeah. Look, I agree with you. Like, if the season starts, all these extra storylines kind of go away, and it comes down to winning football games, which they're going to have to do pretty quickly with this schedule in the beginning. A lot of focus on that first game at Baylor in Waco on August 29th. I think the only other big game on that night is Colorado and Georgia Tech. So,
which is a great game.
Yeah, it's a good game.
In 1990, that was an awesome game.
Auburn should have the focus that night, though, Chris. How important in your mind is it for them to get off to a good start with a win versus Baylor?
Last year when we were talking about how we all thought Auburn was going to start 5-0 because you had 5 straight home games to start the year, and then it's like you end the month of September and you're kind of in a nightmare scenario because you now had all these games at home. The record's not where you want it to be. This team can be very, very good and still be 2-3 or 3-2 out of the gates and still not have Georgia or Bama, a month out from the schedule. I don't think it's necessarily going to happen. I think they're going to be prepared. I think they're going to be better than Baylor. They're more talented than Baylor. But yeah, like you just cannot, like the leash has been a little bit loose on Hugh because of how much people hated Harsin. But if he loses game 1 and then you have at A&M and at Oklahoma later in the month, he's got to win right away.
Yeah, game 1 is going to be hard. And I don't care. I don't think it matters much what it looks like. A pretty loss is still going to feel like a terrible loss to Auburn fans with all the losing that they've been doing the last 4 years. But the question I had was, is this going to look like a Hugh Freeze coach football team finally? He's said, I haven't had the talent to run the type of system that I would like to run. And now the overwhelming consensus is you now have the talent. And quite honestly, I think it all comes down to Jackson Arnold. Did you pick the right quarterback?
I tell you what, yes, but the other part of it too, the only thing I took offense to with what he said was when he was talking about Jarquez Hunter and how much stamina Jarquez Hunter had. I was genuinely offended because in his
yeah.
His entire career, I think he had 46 games at Auburn 2 times. He had 20 or more carries, and in both those games, he went for like an average of like 215 yards per game. They won both those games. He had 2 or 3 touchdowns. It worked. And for like a program and team that has struggled at the quarterback position, especially last year with Peyton Thorne, I don't know why you didn't turn around and just put the ball in his belly way more often. So this year, I don't think it's all on Jackson Arnold because I think you got enough talent around him that you don't have to put it all on his shoulders. But again, man, what an incredible leveling up for Jackson and the talent he's going to have around him and for Hugh Freeze's offense as well.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Jarquez Hunter last year, 6.4 yards per carry. There's only a few backs in the country that either matched or bested that. I think Omarion Hampton at North Carolina, 6.4. R.J. Harvey at UCF, 6.8 on a 4-8 football team. And Ashton Jeanty, right, 7 yards per carry on his way to New York for the Heisman ceremony. But they've got to utilize it. He said that he doesn't want to run against bad boxes, but it feels like you're creating bad boxes when you show people that you're one-dimensional.
It felt like last year there was some weird stubbornness with him and Peyton Thorne. And it was because if you're openly suggesting or telling people that this is not working, or it's not it's not working because it's not the capability or like the level of talent you need at that position to run the offense. And it felt like he was openly saying that during the season, but he also didn't make a lot of adjustments to fix that. And it felt like it was a weird back and forth between him and his quarterback all year. So at the very least, I hope that there's less of that this year. And it's just like we get to go see, as soon as they step on the field, they can just play free and then see where they end up. Because like there's been so much extra drama and things involved with like, I feel like every Auburn season for the last 4 years. And it would be nice if they could just go out and, wait till November before we have a meltdown.
Would be nice if football was about football and not all these other things. Chris, I want to thank you for joining me. Appreciate your thoughts on all things Auburn. Before we get out of here, as always, tell people where they can find you.
No, absolutely not. Do it. Vern_Funquist on Twitter, and then Vern Funquist CFB on Instagram, and then the Fourth and Wrong podcast, Locked on Gamecocks. And that's about it. Social security number 25. No, we're good.
Chris Marler, ladies and gentlemen. If you want some interesting stats, Chris is a great follow. Guys, that's it for another great edition of the Auburn Express, powered by the War Report. I want to thank our friends at the Rogue Shop for bringing us this segment. Visit rogueshop.com. Use code REPORTER to get 15% off your Rogue Shop order. Pain, sleep, stress, anxiety, whatever ails you in life, the Rogue Shop has something that has you covered. Also want to thank our friends at the Vibe Vault. If you're looking to get fresh for the weekend, visit our friends at the Vibe Vault. You can find them at 3462 Crosswinds Road, Suite E in Phoenix City, Alabama. Also, our friends at Golden's Cast Iron. Visit goldenscastiron.com/WR. Use code Get Your Weight Up for 15% off your weights and code TWR off fire pits and Kamado grills. Golden's Cast Iron. Work out, grill out, chill out with Golden's Cast Iron. We'll be back tomorrow with more great content live from SEC Media Days here at the College Football Hall of Fame. Signing off, and as always, War Eagle.